Hello, everyone. My name is Shira Edwards, and today I will be talking about C.S. Lewis, Relational Communication and Faith. His approach about communication is still relevant today. C.S. Lewis was known for his ability to explain complex ideas, especially about Christianity, in a way that felt simple, relatable, and easy to understand. What really made him stand out wasn't just about what he said, but how he said it. He focused on connecting with people instead of trying to argue or prove them wrong. In today's world, especially with social media and everyday conversations, communication can often feel very aggressive or one sided. People are quick to judge, argue, or dismiss others without really even listening. That's why Lewis's approach is so important because it reminds us that communication should be about understanding and connection, not just proving a point. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about who C.S. Lewis was and what his main communication idea was and why his approach still matters today. Who he was. C.S. Lewis was a writer, thinker, and Christian apologist. An apologist is someone who explains and defends a belief, in his case, Christianity. He is best known for writing books like Mere Christianity and The Chronicles of Narnia, one of my favorites, honestly. But beyond his writing, he was also a very influential communicator. He had a unique way of explaining things that made people feel comfortable instead of judged. One thing that made Lewis different was that he understood people. Don't He understood that people don't all think the same or believe the same things. Instead of criticizing people for that, he respected those differences and used them as a starting point for a conversation. He focused on meeting people where they were. That means he took the time to understand their perspective before trying to share his own. Because of that, people were more open to listening to him. This is important because it shows that effective communication is not just about speaking clearly, but also about being aware of the other person and how they feel. The main idea. So the main idea behind C.S. Lewis's communication style is that you should build relationships before trying to change someone's belief. Because if you build a relationship with them and understand why they do believe the way they do, then maybe you can understand better instead of trying to change who they are. Instead of starting arguments with others or trying to convince people the right way, Lewis believes that connection comes first. When people feel respected, understood, and valued, they are much more likely to listen. A lot of times, when people feel attacked or judged, they shut down. They stop listening completely. But when someone approaches them with kindness and understanding, it creates a space where real conversation can happen. Lewis understood that communication is not just about what you say, but how you say it and how the other person receives it. The idea is important because it shifts the focus from trying to win an argument to trying to build a relationship. And when relationships are strong, communication becomes more meaningful and effective. Why it matters today. This idea is extremely relevant today, especially in how we communicate on social media and in everyday life. If you look at social media, you will see a lot of people arguing, judging, and trying to prove each other wrong. People often speak without listening, and conversations quickly turn into conflicts. C.S. Lewis's approach challenges the way of communicating. Instead of being forceful, he encourages us to be relational. That means focusing on understanding people, being patient, and showing empathy. This can apply to so many areas of life. It applies to friendships, relationships, family conversations, and even professional environments. When people feel heard and respected, they are more open and are more willing to engage in meaningful conversations. It also reduces misunderstandings and conflicts. When we take the time to truly listen and connect, we create better communication overall. Instead of asking, how can I prove my point? Lewis's approach encourages us to ask, how can I connect with this person? And an example would be just nurses, because I am a nurse, but nurses are voicing their opinion about why they feel or how they feel that they should have a different group of patients today, and management ignoring them at first, but then coming to realization after conflict has come, but then coming to realization and saying, okay, well, maybe they were right and maybe we should do something different today so that their attitude can be better and the patients can receive better care if the nurse isn't overwhelmed with the problems of yesterday that they had with this group of patients. So it's all about compromise and meeting each other in the middle. And the takeaway from this is C.S. Lewis teaches us that communication is not about forcing beliefs or winning arguments, but about building genuine connections with people. His approach shows that when we lead with empathy, patience, and understanding, we create stronger relationships and more meaningful conversations. And that brings me back to a nurse patient relationship, because when you're being empathetic, you start to build rapport, and that brings the patient to being able to open up more. And when they open up more, then now we can try to get to the root of the problem, and now we can try to make some progress. And so, in a world where communication is often rushed, aggressive, or surface level, his message reminds us to slow down and focus on connection. Because at the end of the day, people are more likely to open up and grow when they feel understood and not pressured. So, overall, the main takeaway is that connections open hearts more than arguments ever will. Thank you all for listening, and y'all have a great day.